GG is one of the greatest teams of all time, holding the title of being the first organization to win 2 different Call of the Abyss titles following the establishment of the Identity V League, and has always been a consistent top 4 finisher ever since. They have one of the most storied rosters in the game's history, featuring some of the game's most beloved and strongest players the Chinese scene has ever produced. Yet despite all these achievements this team has reached, the team currently looks like one of the weakest Chinese rosters to ever compete in this year's KOA group stages, a decline punctuated by a shocking loss to non-professional team and fellow Chinese organization X-Team. To understand how a giant like GG could perform so poorly, we have to look past these surface level results and take a closer look at the games and the existing data we know about this team. Despite GG taking the first round against X-Team, round 2 spelled an impending disaster that frankly, everyone saw coming. X-Team chose Leo's Memory, a map GG historically bans, with GG's Hunter Xiao Ma taking the first half. Following a Seer Gardener ban, X-Team opts to lock in First Officer and Cheerleader. While Cheerleader is typically a counter against the Hunter IV, GG rarely plays this character, but when Meteorologist gets banned, X-Team would wind up selecting Professor. Professor is clearly not just a good pick against Xiao Ma's options, but a synergy with Cheerleader as she has the ability to reduce Survivor cooldowns. With Lucky Guy as the last pick, the team additionally put Cypher pressure, whilst not being too committal to much riskier picks like Mechanic or Pharaoh Lady. Xiao Ma selects Peddler against this composition, but the support-heavy composition would prove rather problematic against Peddler. You'd think that Xiao Ma would be one of the strongest Peddlers in China if he's daringly picking it against a composition that would struggle against it, and while this was true for some time, he has been struggling immensely making the granny work in recent weeks. We saw the warning sign in GG's qualification matches, such as his performance against ZQ where he was bodied for a 3-man escape, or a do-or-die game against Zhu where a potential 4-kill game evaporated into a tie. And against X-Team, the Peddler pick proved disastrous once again. Xiao Ma was unable to do anything against the synergy of Cheerleader and Professor, and even got thwarted by Lucky Guy's doll to turn what was a simple tie into a 3 escape. In fact, Xiao Ma was about to get 4 escaped, but Xing Chen was unable to pull off the Professor's scale. However, the 3rd round offered Xiao Ma a chance at redemption, a moment where the best players typically prove their worth by overcoming their past failures. But with his signature Hunter Guard 26 and Breaking Wheel banned, Xiao Ma had to settle on Wax Artist as a means of fighting against the support-heavy composition. For a moment, Xiao Ma had a chance to win. X-Team kept over-supporting and giving up free hits. By the time Doctor was sent to the manor, almost everyone was injured. Xiao Ma then goes for the healing forward and Magician and is able to chair forward at 2 pallet middle and moves toward Lanternist to take her down right beside a 91% Cypher. Forward gets the rescue, and instead of attempting to stop the near prime Cypher, the Wax Artist eyes for the dead on chair Lanternist. The problem with this move is that Xiao Ma allows the Cypher to pop, but an opportunity arises as he downs Lanternist early, and after blocking the back gate, he has a chance to down forward in the endgame and secure a 3K. Instead, he's too scared of forward getting dungeon at middle, all the while, forward
これ電車見えてないと思うので、難しい判断になりそうですね。
いや耳鳴りが変に残っている。
いや
変
これ
に消えて変に残っている。シアン馬としては分かりづらいよ。全くいないこの辺りを探しながら逆ゲートでは2名の脱出。
This raises a legitimate question about GG's management of their hunters. You see, GG has 2 different hunters, Xiao Ma and Chu, and typically Chu would be the round 1 hunter while Xiao Ma would take care of the rest of the rounds. But to better understand why this is the case, we need to look back at the team's history. You see, Chu was the team's new hunter back in summer, and during that time, he wasn't necessarily that good. Meanwhile, Xiao Ma was their storied hunter and MVP during the KOA 7 victory. It makes sense why Xiao Ma would play more than Chu, especially with the team eyeing to win. But by autumn, Chu was starting to improve significantly, and by the time KOA qualifiers came, Chu was crushing some of the strongest teams, the first one being ZQ with a surprise Wax Artist 4K. and the statistics back this up as well. Here are the statistics of Xiaoma and Chu during the IVL Autumn 2025 season. Both are good hunters, but it's clear that Xiaoma is the better player, especially when we account for the fact that Chu did not get a single 4 elimination game during his stint. But now, let's look at the statistics today, and we can see that Chu is significantly better with a 2.5 average elimination rate compared to Xiaoma's 1.78. And while Chu does have less matches, he does have more tree kills than Xiaoma. With this in mind, the solution becomes glaringly obvious: how Chu played the second round. Sure, you can make the argument that Chu does not have the necessary experience or the character pool to play a full BO3, but Chu definitely has enough of a character pool to play a BO2. When accounting for the characters he played during both the IVL Autumn season and the KOA qualifiers, he played all the meta hunters with the exception of Ivy, and then he also has a surprise Wax Artist. He may not have enough in a BO3, but he has enough to be able to play BO2, all the while Xiaoma gets even more benefit for practicing less meta hunters and being more focused on his signature picks and other non-meta choices. This was already obvious when we looked at the KOA qualifiers, yet the team made no adjustments at all moving into the KOA group stages. X-Team isn't even their first game. Against Axis, Xiaoma performed slightly better, but still 0 wins and both ties, all the while Axis was playing with Monopi, their substitute, because Tuna was unavailable for the entire KOA season. Now, that's not to say that GG's problems today are simply from the fact that Chu is not playing more games, but it is glaringly obvious that this is one major reason for the team's lack of success in this KOA. GG's primary issue comes from a failure to adapt their roster, and the team's inability to recognize that they need to risk having Q playing more rounds, as it's obvious that Xiaoma has not been playing as well. While Xiaoma's signature picks are being consistently banned and his peddler getting absolutely crushed by teams, Chu continues to have some of their best matches only to get benched right after. With GG 0-2 and at clear risk of not making it to playoffs, GG now needs to decide whether they want to make the easy move and prioritize the player that's winning them games, or whether they'll let their status as Identity V's strongest team get taken away simply because they didn't want to make a change.